Mastodon. Then you had Threads. The FBI is looking in the right places. He's a career lawyer. The existing Secretary for Health and Human Services, Becerra. Stephanie Ruhle. Elon Musk bought X and turned it into the social media arm of the MAGA movement. Listen to this.
Elon Musk bought X and turned it into the social media arm of the MAGA movement. And we all sat there right in the middle of it during the campaign, possibly not realizing that we're sitting there like fat chickens, just getting attacked all day and just being part of this MAGA messaging. However, the election's over. Everybody's getting smarter and better. I'm not sure that the right idea is to leave Twitter and just go to BlueSky, a friendlier place, because then we remain in our echo chambers. I don't think that you should necessarily stay in Twitter every day and battle it out and let yourself doom scroll of all the hate coming at you. But I want to see it. I want to read what's happening there, right? And so I think at least staying in those spaces is important because I want to hear the other things.
Eddie,
Elon Musk.
By the way, so I didn't understand what this entire phenomenon was until it's like it's history repeats and they don't seem to learn from their prior mistakes or their prior failures. Now, admittedly, if at first you don't succeed, do it the way your wife told you. For those of you who are married, you'll get that joke. How many times have they done this now? So you had, what was the one called? Mastodon? Someone will give me the name of the thing. You had where they were leaving Twitter at one point in time and they were going to, oh, geez, Louise, it started with, what was the name of the platform? Mastodon. Then you had Threads. Now you have BlueSky. And they think it's amazing because 20 million users go over there. First of all, it's very tough to know what is true and what is not, what is trolling and what is not. But there are legit pedophile accounts that are being set up on, or minor attracted persons over on BlueSky. So but they're doing it again, by the way. It was called Mastodon or Metastodon, whatever the hell it was called. Mastodon turned into, the Homeowners Association Saturday Night Outs. Not a place you want to be. Then they tried Threads. Zuckerberg tried to create that. It turns, first of all, they tricked you into getting onto that app and where you couldn't delete it, from what I understood, without also deleting your Instagram page. So they lock in people so they can never have the number go down. And that turned into a disgusting Karen-filled poo-poo soaked heck hole. And now they're trying it again with BlueSky. And can you imagine what that place must look like? Can you imagine only being surrounded by Joy Reid and Joy Reid adjacent psychopaths? Can you imagine? You think that they're friendlier with each other just because they agree with each other. They don't agree with each other on everything. And the second they disagree with each other on anything, they're going to turn into the same foul, toxic scumbags that they are to MAGA on Twitter. But it's not just that. And again, like, you don't know how many of these are legit or if they are trolls being set up on that platform to sabotage or whatever. But I've seen enough now, and I have not touched that app, nor will I. I'm only relying on the screen grabs, which is risky, but I don't deny the existence of these screen grabs. The only question is it legit? Total pervs? Bona fide progressives who now finally get to live unburdened from what is not allowed on Twitter? Or is it like, saboteurs going there and saying, oh my God, look at the platform. But check this out. Communist, youth liberation now. I don't even know what these things mean. Oh, radical pedophile. Okay, that's good. Then we got another one here. What do we got here? As featured in U.S. national media and libs of TikToks, not a hoax, but the real life subject of a meme. Minor attract map. By the way, they've given a nice euphemism to pedophile. It's minor attracted person maps. Who do we got here? They them anti-contact map. Maybe this is what do they think is going to happen? I hope the FBI is looking in the right places for where they need to be looking to find the pervs and the pedophiles, the child groomers, and the people who are actually involved in what Ethical Hacker, the guy that I was on with the Unusual Suspects on Wednesday, is out there hacking and exposing. But they think they're going to be happier surrounded by people as foul and disgusting and toxic as they are. That honeymoon wears off real quick, people. You think you're going to be happier when you're surrounded by the likes of Dan Goldmans of the world? Listen to this.
I get asked all the time, oh, what are you going to do to stand up for the Constitution? What are you going to do to stand up for the rule of law?
First of all, is he in prison? Because that would be a step in the right direction if he is. Dan Gold, when did we see justice? Holy crab apples. From May this. You're not allowed doing video interviews, from what I understand, from prison. Okay, he's not in prison, but he's in a kid's bedroom for whatever the reason.
I take an oath to the Constitution. as does every single Republican congressperson and senator. And my oath is no different than theirs. And the Republican elected officials take an oath to the Constitution, not Donald Trump. And they have to uphold the Constitution. They have to uphold the rule of law. They have to uphold our system of checks and balances. And we cannot fall into a trap where everyone just looks at the Democrats to be the bulwark for the rule of law and the Constitution.
Can you imagine him thinking anyone looks to the Democrats as the bulwarks for protecting the Constitution? These are the people who want to take away your Second Amendment rights, who want to violate your First Amendment rights, who want to criminalize disinformation and misinformation, who use the weaponized arms of social media to act as the disguised propagandist apparatus of the government. I mean, it's delusional. They are like the good people who donate to women's organizations while sexually assaulting women in their spare time. Harvey Weinberg, I'm looking at you.
All of us have to hold Republicans accountable. The one silver lining in everything that has happened, in my view, is that the Republicans selected John Thune to be the Senate Majority Leader over Rick Scott, who was clearly Donald Trump's preferred candidate.
And by the way, and now you know why that Thune was a bad choice. Why Thune was the choice of the swamp and rhinos and not of the people. When the likes of Dan Goldman like John Thune as a pick, when the likes of Jeb Bush like the attorney general replacement for Matt Gaetz, who was chased out of the race, you might have taken a step down in the wrong direction.
And what that indicates to me is that the Senate Republicans still take their oath, at least some of them, very seriously.
When they agree with me, they respect the Constitution. When they don't agree with me, they're extreme MAGA Republicans, because that's what respecting the Constitution means, according to Dan Goldman. This man is absolutely the scum of the earth.
Including John Thune.
I don't know about very seriously, but okay. Potentially seriously.
That's Tim Miller. That's Tim Miller ODC. I think I have some fun with him on Twitter.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
And until proven otherwise, because we have to have some faith that we know what Donald Trump wants to do.
But Donald Trump, what is that? Tell us.
Can only execute his goals if he has accomplices in Congress.
They respect the Constitution, except they don't want to allow the elected officials to carry out the will of the people who elected them. This is how this is what you're witnessing here. This is not just Democrats. This is uniparty. This is the swamp. Do our bidding, or you are not acting in conformity with the Constitution as per us. And you know that when they agree on a selection, it's a problem. It's not a good thing. And Thune, they got their way with Thune. And they got their way by chasing Matt Gaetz out, although there is good reason to believe that Matt Gaetz was never the original intended pick. There might have been some 4D level chess in there. We'll see. But you understand this.
If he has complicity from John Thune and Mike Johnson and the other leaders, and we cannot let them off the hook. They have an obligation to our country, not to Donald Trump. And just because Donald Trump just overloads the zone with so many unqualified cabinet picks does not mean that there's a negotiation where you get to say, okay, well, you have 5 completely absurd cabinet picks, so we'll let you choose 3 and we'll reject 2. No.
Completely absurd. This is coming from the Biden Democrats. And you want to know who's on Biden's administration. I don't know what role the thief was there, the trans cross-dressing luggage thief. Rachel Levine. I mean, you look at his you're dealing with incompetence, corruption, liars, scoundrels of the highest order. It may not be much different because we're dealing with politicians, but it's certainly better when you're dealing with the likes of the picks of Trump. But they don't like him. And so they've got to do everything they can within their power, within the bounds of the law, and even without the bounds of the law to get these people down, even if it means smearing them, defaming them, besmirching them, and threatening all the lawfare that they waged against Trump.
Each one, they have an obligation to evaluate on their merits themselves.
It's the no true Scotsman theory, except it's the no good candidate theory that regardless of who Trump picks, if they don't like them, they will be bad. If they do like them, then they're respecting the Constitution. Pick a Matt Gaetz. Oh my, sexual misconduct allegations, incompetence allegations. Pick RFK Jr. for Health and Human Services. He's never been a doctor. He's a career lawyer. The existing secretary for Health and Human Services, Becerra, is not a doctor, was a lawyer. Pick Tulsi Gabbard. Well, Tulsi Gabbard, Russian assets. What's it? Pete Hegseth, bring up the sexual assault allegations from 7 years ago where there was a police report filed. No charges ever filed.